Welcome back to Mornings. We're talking about the common problems for the step family and the blended family. And this morning we're joined by Dolla Merrillees, who joins us along with our psychologist Ian Wallace. Good morning, Dolla. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kerri-Anne.
You've endured this issue. What were the circumstances with your blended step family?
Essentially, I was leading a Bridget Jones type existence and met my husband-to-be, and within the space of 12 months found myself taking on the role of a full-time stepmother. And it was complicated because there were substance abuse problems with the biological mother. So within 12 months I took on a full-time parenting role and didn't know what had hit me.
Wow. How old was
my stepson was just turned 4, so very young.
Wow. So the hurdles that you had to overcome, what was his attitude to you?
Look, I think as Ian mentioned earlier, he had come from a situation of conflict. There had been some neglect. He was very bewildered and needy. He wasn't sure quite how to react to me, and nor was I at all sure how to deal with him. I mean, it was completely out of my realms to deal with a 4-year-old. And I mean, I'm not sure if you know much about domestic habits of 4-year-olds, but they talk a lot and they make a lot of noise and they sort of need help wiping their bum and need to crawl into our bed at night. So was it hard to be an instant parent? Because all of a sudden it was terrible.
It's not like that you grew on it and you had time to adjust and...
Yes, and I think, as you mentioned, our entire courtship was under the very watchful eyes of this 4-year-old.
Did he like you?
I just think he was a bit indifferent, really. I mean, as long as he sort of, you know, got to play with his friends and go and watch TV and food was there, I was sort of in the background. So I think that was also one of the difficulties, is you're not quite sure what your role is in relationship to the child.
And there's no mother's group or anything for like this.
No,
it's not the normal support.
No,
there's no
support
one telling you
network.
what's right. Yeah.
And I didn't know quite, you know, what to do. I mean, did I discipline him? Did I stand back? What role did I play in relation to this child?
So he is now 11.
He's now 11.
Between 4 and 11, what are the lessons you've learned?
Well, I wish I'd been a bit more patient. But I think persistence, and I think for us, I think that the key has been that we've very much pulled together as a team, my husband and I, and we've really tried to work together to build a blended family, and one that makes no distinguish between that doesn't distinguish between my stepson and the child that we had together. Yeah, we had a daughter.
And how old's your daughter?
She's now 5.
What is her relationship?
They're very close, and it's a very loving relationship when they're not fighting, which is, you know, every 5 minutes.
Did it put strain on your personal relationship?
There have been times when I wondered whether we would actually make it, and this is the sort of stuff that I've chronicled in my book, The Woodcutter's Wife. There were times when I really wondered whether we would actually survive. And I mean, as Ian has pointed out, the statistics are not good.
You've got some great tips, because I tell you, we've had one of the most touching emails in just a moment ago, which you're going to be kind enough to stay for the end of the show, and we'll discuss in emails. This is from a woman who is truly desperate. She won't even give us her name because she doesn't want to be identified. I have a stepdaughter who I cherish, but she treats me like a piece of dirt. I really need help. Now, you're going to stay and address this issue, because I know this is sort of just touching at the heart of a lot of people. Okay, information for people. It will be posted on our website, but what can we learn by this?
First thing is, don't expect this to be a typical family. Give yourself a bit of space, because like Dolla said, it's really hard to adjust. So don't go in there thinking you're going to be the perfect stepmom and everything's going to work out, or the family will just blend. You've got to have time. You've got to be really patient, and you've got to be really flexible and adaptable, because what you think it's going to be never is. And the desperate mums always come in saying, oh, I thought it'd be this. It never is quite that. It's really important to assert an adult discipline status. What we mean by that is, often you're told, you can't parent this child, you can't be the boss, you're not allowed to say anything. But you can be the same as any other adult. In other words, what a teacher says or what a sports coach has said, you can exert the same sort of influence over the child. So you can't be the kid's mum, but you can say, no, that's not okay to speak that way, or no, we don't like it when you do those things. Don't personalise the attacks. Unfortunately, a lot of stepmoms think that, you know, it's all their fault, and they personalise, I must be doing something wrong. It's really important to say you're doing a really good job in a tough situation, and the fact that kid screams at you or things are going wrong may not be your fault at all. And lastly, work on solutions, because there are lots of step families that work. I know the stats are against you, but I've got lots of step families that work. Some of the best families I see are really complex, blended families that work really, really well. But it's because they're flexible and they communicate and they adapt, and they get there in time.
Bet you back all that up, Dolla?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Listen, thank you very much for your time. A lot of that information, by the way, about this issue, just go to the website. Ian, you'll join us a little later, and Dolla, thank you very much for your time. Okay, in about 15 minutes' time on Morning, some concrete steps to put your financial house in order for the start of the year or into February as we are. But after the break, Australia's favourite builder is not only helping sick children, but wants to give young kids and young people the key to a successful career. Kerri-Anne joins us after this.